In today's video, I'm answering a follow-up question asked by two of my amazing viewers on our accounting series tutorial. They both asked, what happens when it's time to prepare for a new month? Do we start from scratch again? Put simply, no, you don't start over. And that's exactly what we are going to cover today. How to roll over to the next accounting period without losing your progress. We'll walk through the essential month-end close, the process that transforms your project into a repeatable system. You will learn how to lock in a month's profit, reset your accounts, and prepare for a clean start. By the end, you will understand the difference between temporary and permanent accounts and how your net income becomes part of your company's value. This is a key skill for every business owner. So if you're ready to level up your accounting game, let's get started. So, why do we even need to do a month-end close? The reason is simple. We need to draw a clear line in the sand. We want to be able to say, this is exactly how much profit we made in April, and then start with a clean slate to measure our profit for May. To do this, we need to understand a fundamental concept, the difference between temporary and permanent accounts. Temporary accounts are like scoreboards for a single game. They track our activity for one specific period. This includes all our revenue accounts, all our expense accounts, and all our owner's draw accounts. Their job is to tell us if we won or lost, that is, made a profit or loss for that month. Once the month is over, we need to reset these scoreboards to zero. Permanent accounts, on the other hand, are cumulative. They are our assets, liabilities, and equity accounts. Their balances don't reset. Your bank account balance from April 30th becomes your starting balance on May 1st. It carries over. The month-end close is the process of taking the final score from our temporary accounts and transferring it to a permanent account. Now let's pick up right where we left off in our last video. Here is a completed system for Digital Bee Studios for the month of April. Our income statement shows a net income or net profit of $13.96, and the balance sheet is perfectly balanced. Now, let's close the books for April. Before we close, we must make sure all our adjusting entries for the month are posted. This includes things like the depreciation expense and the income tax expense we recorded. We've already done that, so we are ready to proceed. Now, for the most important step, we are going to make one final special journal entry dated the very last day of the month, April 30th. The entire goal of this entry is to make every single one of our temporary accounts have a zero balance. Let's go to our general journal. We'll add a new entry for April 30th. So I'll copy that to use there. The description will be closing entry for April. Now, we just have to follow a simple 4-step process. First, we close our revenue account. So I'm going to have revenue selected from the drop-down. Our service revenue was $3,000. To close it, we need to do the opposite of its normal balance. Debit service revenue with $3,000. Next, we close out all our expenses. Rent expense, software expense, contractor expense, meals and entertainment, bank fees, and depreciation. Let's do a check to confirm that we have all the expenses listed. So we've got rent expense. I have it listed here twice. So instead of rent expense, it's going to be software expense, which is right here. Contractor expense, meals, bank fees, depreciation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to our trial balance to confirm that, or our income statement. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we are good. These all have debit balances because they are expenses anyway. So every expense is with a debit balance with this amount. So to close them, we credit them. It's the same date and description. I have that copied to use for down below. And their figures are exactly $800 for rent expense, $60 for software expense, $400 for contractor expense, meals and entertainment was $75, bank fees was $15, and depreciation was $255. We can do a check to be sure that we have the correct figures. Depreciation was $55, not $255. So let's have that changed. Bank fees was $15. Yeah. Our contractor expense and meals and entertainment was $475 respectively. Contractors fees $400, meals and entertainment $75. Bank fees and depreciation are $15 and $55 respectively. So bank fees 15, depreciation 55. Yes, we are good to go. Now, these are our standard operating expenses. We must also close out our interest expense and the income tax expense, which is right here. The figure for those are going to be picked from here. So income tax expense is $159 and the interest expense is $40. Perfect. All of our business costs for the month of April, from rent to interest to taxes, are now included in our closing entry. But we are not done just yet. We also need to close the owner's draw account, which had a debit balance of $500. Drawings are not part of profit. They are personal withdrawals. So we close that separately straight to our owner's equity. I would have owner's draw selected from the drop down, which we have listed as owner's drawings and owner's capital. Giving all of this still the same date and description. Credit owner's drawings with $500 to have it closed out. And credit owner's capital with the same $500 to have our owner's capital reduced by that amount. All right, our closing entry is almost complete. We've closed our revenues, our expenses, and our draws. But you can see our entry is not yet balanced. If I do a sum of all our expenses and have that deducted from revenue, so let's say I have revenue here minus the sum of expenses. We're going to have owner's drawings removed from the list because that's already balancing with the debit to the owner's capital. So have that removed. We have a balance of $13.96. That's the final crucial piece we are missing. The credit to retained earnings that represents the profit we are officially keeping in the business. It's the same figure as our net profit, as you can see. Now, I could just go to my income statement, see that the net income was $13.95, and manually type that number here. But wait, if I do that, our system isn't truly automated. What if I forgot a transaction earlier and had to go back and add it? My net income would change, and I would have to remember to manually update the closing entry. That's how mistakes happen. We need Excel to calculate this for us right here and now. Let's make this dynamic. First, a quick but important fix to our setup. Retained earnings needs to be an official account in our system. So I'm going to go to our chart of accounts, and I'm just going to have retained earnings added to the bottom of our chart of accounts. Retained earnings, and it's an equity, so I will have it added as an equity. This would make it available in our drop down list. Okay, back to our closing entry. How do I get this 1396, our net profit, which is also in our income statement? How do I get it to appear here automatically? The answer lies in our trial balance. Our trial balance already contains the final balances of every revenue and expense account before this closing entry. We can use those totals to calculate our net income dynamically. Here's the trick. We can build a simple net income calculator right into our closing entry line. So, in the credit column of our retained earnings line, let's have retained earnings selected here. In the credit column, instead of typing a number, we are going to type a formula. The formula will be total revenues minus total expenses. And we can get these totals using the sum if function, pointing directly at our trial balance. Now let's break down the formula. This part of the formula, look in a column named sub-accounts in the trial balance. It searches for the exact text revenue. When it finds it, it goes to this column and gets the value. In our case, it's $3,000. Since it's a credit balance, we have it multiplied by -1 to turn negative into positive for our calculation. And this part of the formula looks into our column named sub-accounts again. Right in our trial balance, it searches for the exact text expense. So it finds all the rows marked expense, that is the bank fees, the contractor expense, depreciation expense, and the rest. Then it goes to this column, the balance column, and adds up all their corresponding balances. Since these are all debits, that is positive balances, the sum will be a positive number. So we don't need to have it multiplied by -1. The final calculation at the end of the day will be $3,000 minus the total of all the expenses, which will give you the correct net income. And just like that, Excel calculates our net income for us right inside our journal entry. Now, if any of our earlier transactions change, we can just refresh our trial balance and this closing entry will automatically update its own value. It's brilliant. Now, our closing entry is perfectly balanced. So, here's what just happened. Revenue and expenses gone, zeroed out. The net income of this amount now sitting in retained earnings. Owner's draw also cleared, and the owner's capital reflects 500 withdrawal. Now we are officially ready for a fresh month. How do we know we did it right? We can prove it by looking at a post-closing trial balance. Now let's go to our trial balance and let's have our pivot table refreshed. Now that I've refreshed our trial balance with the closing entry included, look at this. Every single revenue and expense account now has a final balance of 0. The owner's draw account is also 0. They've been reset, ready for the new month. The only accounts that still have balances are her permanent accounts, assets, liabilities, and equity. And notice our retained earnings account now has that $1396 balance. The system works perfectly. You notice that our income statement has been set to 0. If we go to our balance sheet, we still need to perform the fix I mentioned earlier for retained earnings. So I'm going to delete the manually entered retained earnings row because it's showing 0.2, more like 0, which is what we have in our income statement. We want to make sure that the balance from our general journal is flowing there. So I'm going to have this figure deleted, and we're going to have it added back as a proper line item using SUMIF or VLOOKUP like we did for the rest. So let's copy this formula and have it used right here for retained earnings. Let's find out why we're getting this error. The current range ends at 24. Let's go to our trial balance to see if it ends there. Yeah, so we have our retained earnings on row 25. All we need to do is to make sure that the range extends to row 25 and press enter. And with that, the problem is fixed. We have our retained earnings balance of 1395, just as seen on the trial balance. With that, our books for April are now officially closed. So how do we start May? It's simple. The ending balances you see right here on our post-closing trial balance are now the official starting balances for May 1st. To start fresh, you can simply duplicate your general journal sheet by moving and copying. Have this renamed to General Journal May. Get into the May sheet and delete all the old transaction data, leaving just the headers. Now we have a clean slate. We can start entering our May transactions right here, and our automated system will start tracking our May activity from scratch. Our balance sheet accounts will carry forward their balances automatically. And the process for closing the entire year, it's exactly the same as closing the month, just with 12 months worth of data. And that is how you perform a month-end close and roll your books over to a new period.
So that's the complete process for closing the books. This video was a direct result of your questions, and it's a crucial skill for any serious business owner. Thank you for helping shape the direction of this channel. If you found this useful, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. As always, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.